Hi, Elijah. Could you confirm that we are live?
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Yeah, you can go ahead now, Priscilla.
Okay, all right, thank you. Good evening, everybody. I believe that you can hear me. I'm Mr. John. I'm Mr. Adibambo. Please, could you let me know that you can hear me loud and clear? You could
Loud
unmute
and
to let
clear,
me know.
sir.
All right, thank you. So, good evening, everybody. Welcome to a 10 Analytics session. Okay, today we'll be talking about how 10 Analytics can help you land a job. So, with us in the house are two participants from 10 Analytics. And before we jump straight into the session, I'd like to do a brief introduction of who we are at 10 Analytics and what we do. So, we're a leading educational technology company, and we focus on helping Africans majorly and people of the Black community learn premium tech skills, by lowering the entry barrier into tech. In over 4 years, we've been able to help over 2,000 people transition from the classroom to their first tech job. Okay, so our specialties are in data analytics, data science, business analysis, data engineering, financial analytics, HR analytics, as the case may be. So we have with us today two participants from the Tanalytics platform. Okay, and they joined Analytics last year and they've been able to land roles. Okay, so they will be telling you how Analytics helped them land a job and how you as well can be helped, to land your so desired tech role. So I'd like for you, Mr. John, to give us a brief introduction of yourself before we get started.
All right. Good evening, Priscilla. It's nice being here. Well,
Yeah,
what's there to tell? My name is John. Um, I'm a data analyst. I currently work as a pricing and capacity analyst with HSB Engineering Insurance based in Manchester. It's actually more about helping the business determine prices and how we charge our clients and customers using leveraging data. So I like to tell myself I see myself more as a storyteller. That's because I believe that's actually one of the core strengths of being a data analyst: the ability to tell stories. Data tells stories, and how do you spot and identify the trend? So that's pretty much about me, and that's what I'm doing currently. And the journey with analytics has been fantastic. It's actually what got me here. We'll go more into more details as we can start. Thank
Yeah,
you.
exactly. It's a pleasure to have you here, Mr. John. And need I say thank you for taking our time today. I know you had work. Thank you for taking our time to be here. So yes, we're going to go to Mr. Adebambo. Please, could you a brief introduction of yourself and what you do currently?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Adegbaju Adebambo. I currently work as a business development manager for Lettingate Limited, a consultancy firm that deals with conformance certification, asset audit.
So I don't know if it's just me, but I'm struggling to hear Mr. Adebambo. Hi, Mr. John. Can you hear Mr. Adebambo?
No, I can't seem to hear him. I think probably there's a issue with the connection from his end.
Yeah, Mr. Adibambo, your network bandwidth seems to be low, so you might just want to leave the session and join back in if that fixes it for you. All right. So guys, if you're joining us, welcome. We have Mr. John, like I already said, and then Mr. Adebambo in the house. And while we are going through how Analytics can help you land a job in tech, you just might want to pick a pen and a notepad, so you are able to take down salient points. And then so you are able to also learn how Mr. John and how Mr. Adebambo transitioned into tech. They did not just transition, they also got a job. Okay. So you might also want to take down points from their experience so far. So Mr. Adebambo, could you confirm that you can hear me?
Loud and clear, I can hear you.
All right. So we're going to jump right into it. And I'd start by asking Mr. John, what was the defining moment for you that made you, the aha moment that made you feel like, okay, I need to get into tech? And why did you choose 10 Analytics? Okay, so you could give us a bit about your background, and your interest in tech. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Whew, the wow moment. Actually, I've been someone who's been fascinated with data for a while. I think the interest actually, the wow moment, like you described it, actually was when I was doing my master's degree back in Nigeria, my first master's degree. I actually did a research, and from the little just administering questionnaire and analyzing data using SPSS, basic statistics and things like that, the insights, some of the things I saw, really, I didn't know this actually existed, and you can actually do pretty big things with this. Basically in Nigeria, when you're doing your first degree, it's about just do anything for your BSc. But when you go for your master's degree, there's still kind of a level of thought process that goes into it, data analysis and things like that. It was at the basic level, but that actually opened my eye to see that I could actually use data to actually do lots of things. Then I got my first job. It was something that had to do with data as well back in Nigeria, working as a risk associate, tried to analyze risk and things like that. So all of these experiences were like I needed to like do more into this, more. Then fortunately, there was a day, I think it was on Facebook, I saw a post by Ife just trying to,
Mhm.
it was talking about data, I was talking about the master class and things like that. Around the period, I was also planning to come for a master's degree in the UK. So I wanted to like, my master's degree was in artificial intelligence and data analytics. So I just wanted to like have like a background. Don't let me just dive into it. Let me have a background. So it was just like everything was in sync. So I joined the taster, the first class, the tasting section, listened to a fee, who is by the way very good. All of this, I knew I just had to join the program. I knew I had to maximize every learning opportunity. That's one thing about me. I try to maximize every opportunity I have to learn. So it was pretty good. The first impression from Tenerife was brilliant. It was catchy. The way if it broke everything down, the explanation. That was when I started, but I couldn't complete it. Something happened along the way. It was actually data science class then. That was in 2020 or 2021 or thereabout. I couldn't complete it. So when I wanted to start again, I knew definitely that to go to analytics. And here I am today. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be a part of the, I call it a family now, and I'm happy. So the wow moments was the fact that I've been around data trying to see, and that session, that I think it was just about short video from Ife then that got me hooked,
Okay.
and from then it's been all the way forward, no looking back.
Yeah, you have quite an interesting start though. So you got interested in the world of data by doing your master's research, and
Yeah,
then somehow, some way, when you wanted to go for your second master's in the UK, you saw Ifemena's video, and then it hooked you.
exactly. That
Yeah,
was it.
yeah, exactly. It's good to have you, Mr. John. And yes,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Adeba, could you also tell us a defining moment for you that made you choose a career in tech, and why did you choose analytics?
Thank you, Priscilla. I joined analytics at a time in my life that I was trying to look for other things to do. I worked in the
Okay.
financial sector, rising to become a bank branch manager, and the work became so monotonous to me. And I was trying to see what else can I do, and I don't want to veer off too much. So I wouldn't say maybe providence or coincidence. I was just going through Facebook and I saw a femina. This same a femina. The guy is everywhere. He's in your face everywhere. So the way he spoke, I got arrested by his the way he broke down everything, and I was more than convinced that this is a place to go. And the first
Exactly.
session, I think I first saw his video in June or July. So I've been following journalists afterwards. Every community I try to join and listen. So though I was not active, I've not decided whether I'm going to start or not, but I was still following. I knew I wanted to do this. So, and the first class that we had, when Ice spoke, a feminine spoke, and I think Sulaiman spoke, I was sweat off my feet and I decided I'm going to join. I had not had anything to do with tech before in my entire life, but I knew I have to do this and I must do it with all my might. So that was the defining moment for me, and I've never been disappointed all through.
That's fantastic to hear. Let me ask: do you have a background in, sorry, a degree, a science related degree, something related to the sciences before jumping into tech,
No,
or something?
my first degree was in political science. I have masters in business administration, and that was all. So
Yeah,
I've not
exactly.
really had anything to do with tech.
Good to have you, Mr. Adebambo. I like the fact that you got hooked by Ifemena as well. Ifemena is the co-founder of 10Alytics. For those of us that are joining us, Ifemena is the co-founder of 10Alytics. And somehow, some way, we've been able to also get hooked, by Ifemena's magnificence and what he's been able to do as well, and how he's been able to bring that into 10Alytics, and how we've also been able to help people land their tech job. So my second question is going to go to Mr. John. What was your experience like during the courses at 10Alytics? Can you share an unexpected or particularly inspiring story from your time in the 10Alytics program that left a lasting impression on you?
Well, three words: eye opening. It was thought provoking, and it was enjoyable. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say probably that actually summarizes all it. So it was really eye opening. It was because yes, we know we have data everywhere, but actually, what do we do with this data? The analytics actually open my eye to see the power of data and what we can actually achieve with it. It's not just for it to be there; it's for it to be used to help us make informed decision, and that's exactly what analytics did. Made me see things from different perspective, think as a data analyst, reason as one. And also, it was thought provoking. It gave it there's this ability it gives you to be able to think very well, to think deeply. Because as a data analyst, you need to be a problem solver, and to be a problem solver, you need to be able to think along the data, reason along the data, and finally it was very enjoyable. It was, there, it's not just about learning is very important, but the environment in which you learn, the kind of people
Matters as
that
well.
you interact with, kind of has an impact on how you learn and how you assimilate things. So
Yeah.
the instructors, everyone from Ibrahim to Adeza to Ife, everyone was just pretty good, accessible, always willing to listen to you, always willing to help you wherever you have an issue. Then, as regards an inspiring moment, yes, there was this. Every point in time, there's this tendency for you to be discouraged. You get
Yeah.
to people like, oh, I'm just tired. What am I doing? Is it worth my time? But
Yeah.
at times, you listen to testimonials from people, stories from people that actually change the way you reason and change the way you think. For instance, I remember just after a while, I was in the May cohort here last year. Probably 4 or 5 weeks after we started, it was just basic Excel we've done. I had knowledge in Excel, and I just had a guy from my class said he got a job. How with NHS? How did you do it? Like, those kind of stories, they give you those kind of inspiration. Like, we are not even done with the course and you have this already. Those are the things that actually inspire you to actually want to learn and actually want to put in the effort. So that's why I usually tell people, just make sure you, like, with one or two of my friends that are actually on the program now, that was I told them, maximize every learning potential, attend every of the sessions no matter what, listen to people. It's not just about, oh, Excel, oh, Power BI. Listen to people's experience. That will help you a lot. And that really inspired me. The guy, the story, I've forgotten his name now, but his story actually inspired me. And the fact that the teaching was enjoyable, very relatable, all of these things come together and played a very huge role in my time with analytics.
Yeah. So there's something called community, and we have that in analytics as well. So in times when you're feeling like, oh, I can't do this anymore, I'm tired, you just get to hear somebody's story. Over time, we've had people feel like we lie when we say that people actually get jobs after Excel classes, So they feel like this is so unreal and it's so untrue. But yeah, you're going to hear stories like that. And it's just going to help you stay motivated and it's going to help you stay till the end of the journey. Thank you for sharing that, Mr. John. Mr. Adebambo, could you also share one of the most inspiring moments you had with 10 Analytics that has left a long lasting impression on you?
Thank you, Priscilla. Yeah, the
Yeah.
first day, the introductory part, when ICE started to take us through, it made it abundantly clear that no matter who you are, no matter your background, the only thing that you need is to pay attention. I must confess here that I actually don't have a note. What I do is that I make sure I'm in the class and I go back to the videos. And
Yes.
that's about the best thing that happened to me because on a particular day, I was unavoidably absent in the class and I thought I've actually missed out. So when I now took time to sit down with the video, I watched the video over and over again. I think I was able to get even more than people that were in the class. So I now say,
Yes.
okay, this is a repository that I can refer to all my life. So that's a moment for me that this is a place to be. So I'm very glad that I've chosen 10 Analytics. Up to
Yeah,
tomorrow, I'm still referring to those classes. Up to tomorrow, they are my reference book
exactly.
now.
Yeah. So you took the program last year and you still have access to all the materials. That's
Yes.
good. So one question. So what are some of the skills you learned in your business analysis program that you found very useful in your job search?
Yeah. Is that to
That's
me
you,
or
Mr. Yes, Mr.
okay?
Adebambo. That's
Okay. Let me give you a secret. This my current job.
Mhm.
I There are other people that were there with me competing for the same position. But I mentioned something,
Mhm.
continuous improvement. I learned that in
Yeah.
Analytics. So it's coming to Analytics has been a great blessing to me because it actually helped me. I learned about,
Mhm.
I've been in the banking sector and we are always talking about customer satisfaction. But to me, when after I got to 10 Analytics, I know that what we have been doing in the banking sector is that we are just talking about it. We are not actually doing it. We are not putting processes in place to actually analyze whether customers are enjoying, are really satisfied, or what do they really need. Most of the time, what we did was just to design a product, drop it on the customer's laps, shove it down their throats, and not
Yeah.
mind whether they actually need it or not. But in Analytics, I've seen the difference. And I also believe that if I had been with Analytics prior to my resignation as a banker, I would have performed much better because I deal with figures. My bosses don't want story, they want to
Yeah.
see figures. So it helps you to project, see the gaps, see what you need to do to close those gaps, and how well you are able to understand and analyze your figures. So those are the things that I actually learned in journalism that I believe is for now and for the future for me. Thank you.
Yes, yes. So during the live classes, we have what we call projects that are being worked on in class, and these projects are actually case study based. So you're not just coming to learn anything theoretical, you're going to apply your tools, and then you're going to see how they apply to various scenarios and various case studies. So yes, that's for the business analysis. Mr. Adebambo took the business analysis program. So, Mr. John, I'd like to hear how did the hands-on project at Analytics simulate the challenges you face in your current role? And can you also share an example?
Uh, well, uh, well, it has really helped me a lot. The hands-on project. Actually. The first thing is, as a data analyst, if you're searching for a job, one of the biggest things you need to do is to have a story box. Have a story because usually now the trend is you go for interviews. The next question is tell me about the time you've done this, tell me about the time you've done that, those kind of questions. And you need to have a story box. And what some of these projects actually will do is to enable you build your story box. I give you an example. Uh, and I have like five story I use that I have in my box for every interview I use. Two of them were actually from some of our hands-on projects. There's a root performance analysis project. Yeah, I think I used that one for one of my last interview. So this is actually some of the things that will help you, especially if you're transitioning. You don't really have much to say. You go for interviews. You don't really have that experience of someone who's been there 5, 6, 7, 8 years. But this hands-on project helps you build your portfolio. It gives you the opportunity
Yeah.
to have something to talk about. That is why you cannot overemphasize or overstress the need of those hands-on projects. It's, for instance, another example is recently I was part of a team working on a particular project. It was actually a side gig, and we were talking about, it was just trying to like we had a particular institution trying to like maximize their HR. Was something that had to do with HR analysis and things like that. Even though I didn't take a class in HR analytics, I have the background because I had done projects relating to something like that. So it gives you this kind of leverage. I call myself master of so many things. Like, I'm not really deep into
Yeah.
one, but I have an idea because I've done a project relating to it. So all of these things come into play for you as an individual, especially if you're transitioning. You don't have that experience of someone who is being the data analyst for 5, 6 years, but you have that kind of some projects which enables you to build your storybox, enables you to have experience in each and everything. For instance, you can work as a data analyst. You can take on so many roles: customer insight analyst,
Mhm.
courtesy of the fact that you've actually done something relating to it. And that's the beauty of those hands-on projects. And that's what it actually does and helps you. It helps you, it goes a long way, and I cannot overemphasize the importance of that. That's one of the things that analytics will also give you.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Before we move forward, I'd like to acknowledge the people in the comments. So I can see Flora, I can also see Voke. Good evening and welcome. If at any point you have questions to ask our speakers for today, you can leave that in the chat. We'll pick it up from there and then they'll get to answer the questions as well. Okay, so if you're wondering, how do people get jobs without tech experience? How do I get a job as a analyst or a business analyst, data engineer, whatever, without any experience? These guys are literally promising that I would get a job. That's what Mr. John has just answered. Okay, during your classes, you take case study based classes, project based classes, and they are completely hands on. Okay, nobody comes to class to present slides to you, and that's just it. All right, so you take classes that are project based and hands on, so you get to build your story bank. Let me borrow Mr. John's word, and then you are able to speak in interviews. Okay, so Mr. Adebambo, I'd like to also ask you, as a business
Yes.
analyst, how did the hands-on project at Analytics simulate the challenges you face in your current role? And can you also share an example?
Hello, can you
Hello,
hear
Mr.
me?
Adebambo.
You are frozen. I didn't
Yes,
get
I can
that.
hear you.
Yes, I
So
can hear
I
you.
asked that,
I didn't get the
okay, so
question.
how did the hands-on project, yeah, I would go over that again. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello, Mr.
yes, it's
Adebambo,
clear
can you
now.
hear me? All right. So I'll
I
go over
I
the
can hear
question
you.
again. So, okay. I think there's a lag. Mr. John, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Mr. Adebambo, I'm going to go over the question again, and I hope that you can hear me. So, how did your hands-on project at Analytics simulate the challenges you face in your current role? Okay. Could you also share an example?
Yeah, thank you so much. I told you I just started the job this June. But however,
Yeah.
at the first, and we held a strategy session yesterday. But at the inaugural meeting that I had with my team members, what I used was the gap analysis idea that have been taught at Analytics. Where is the company currently? Where do they want to be? What is the gap? So by the time I was able to dissect that, the MD of the company was present with my team being the inaugural meeting. He was so pleased that he has been looking for something to really look at why they are not the figures are not really rolling in as expected. All of us were able to identify what the problems are, and the solution were proffered. And I believe if you're able to fully execute that, it's going to assist me but not being at 10Alytics, probably I might not be able to have look in that direction or just paper over that thing, but I was able to really deal with it with the experience I've had in 10Alytics. Gap analysis was it for me on my inaugural meeting. Thank you.
Yeah, and that's just beautiful. Okay, at Analytics we offer 100%, but then it is split into two. We have 50% of live classes, training you, giving you the technicals, and also the other 50% is our value added services such as the career support sessions like the LinkedIn optimization, CV review, and mentorship sessions. So after learning in class, Mr. John, could you say how the career support sessions, the CV review, mentorship session, LinkedIn optimization, how they change the way you approach job applications and networking? Could you let me know how we helped you, all of those extra sessions you had to attend aside from classes?
Thank you very much. Well, they did go a long way because I want to believe the essence of actually first pivoting into tech is to get a job.
Sorry, Mr. John.
Can you hear me?
Okay.
All
Yes,
right.
I can hear you now.
All right, that's better. I think it's on my end. Yeah, I okay, let me recap. So the essence of actually trying to pivot into tech is to get a job, right?
Yeah,
And how can
exactly.
you get a job if you're not visible? You have to be visible. What actually speaks for you first is your CV. The CV goes before you. You might be very good. You might be the best data analyst there is, but the first thing that gets you into the room, that gets you at the door, is the quality of your CV and your visibility. How else will you project yourself as a professional, for your LinkedIn? And that
Yeah.
is what an analyst would do. It's about holding your hands from the beginning of the journey to the end of the journey. Yes, you've learned the skills. Yes, you've acquired the knowledge. How do I convince people that I can actually do the job? How do I get into the room? So many sessions on CV reviews. Even the fact that you had sessions whereby we reviewed people's CV on their own. This helps. It goes a long way. It makes you see what do I need to have, what do I need to remove, how do I continue to tailor my CV to suit the job description per time. Usually before now, I used to have probably a CV or two, but now I can't count the number of CVs I have because you have to consistently tailor your CV. It was until I got a job and I got to know what employers were actually looking for during the interview. It was until I got a job. My first session with my line manager, most of the things he said were actually things from my CV. So they actually want value. So it's not just about, oh, I can do the job. Yes, this CV looks beautiful on the surface. Does it suit the purpose for the employer? And that's what analytics will do. Teach you how to tailor your CV. That's on one side. On the other hand, your LinkedIn as well, which gives you visibility. It allows you network with people. You need to have a professional LinkedIn page for whatever you want to do. It's very important. Analytics will also teach you that how do I optimize my LinkedIn? What are the things I need to do? What skills are required? What are the skills I need to have on my LinkedIn? All of this come into play. Like I tell people, it's a process. Getting a job, especially after training, it's a process. It comes with a whole lot of process into it. Yes, I know the skills. Can I market it? Yes, I can market it.
You
Can
sell
people see it?
yourself.
Yes, people can see it. Can I now get my foot at the door and do the interview? Yes, I can. So it's a whole lot of process, and I'm grateful to the analytics for that, for giving me the opportunity that opened my eye to see the importance of tailoring CV for every application and optimizing my LinkedIn. Those are some of the things that actually helped me because I can see that my line manager actually went through my LinkedIn page as well before
Yeah.
giving me the job. So all of these things help.
Okay, so thank you for answering, Mr. John. We have one question in the chat, and I'd like for us to answer that as well. So Flora is saying, due to the immense competition in the field, after this training, can we really stand the chance to excel in the career we have chosen? So I'm going to ask Mr. Adebambo now. Did you have any feeling of doubts during the course of your journey with us? Did you ever think, is this worth it? Am I even going to land that job? What am I even doing? There are a lot of people out there that are smarter than I am. So, what exactly am I doing? Did you have any such moments?
Yes, being in a new field, you have to sometimes be skeptical about your ability to be able to cope, especially in an industry that you don't have a prior experience. However, as the journey progressed, I understood that it's majorly dependent on me, on my own commitment to what I'm being taught in the class. And at that level, I
Exactly.
believe that I have to face it. And I became more determined that if I'm able to align myself and adapt to all these things that I've been taught, I should be able to prove myself wherever field I found myself. So there's no iota of doubt that if you go through 10 Analytics and you are determined, apply your mind to what is being taught, you will definitely excel. It's a more personal thing than um, uh, being dependent on 10 Analytics. Thank you.
Exactly. So thank you so much for that answer, Mr. Adebambo. So we've actually told you, okay, we'll take you through live classes, 3 months of experiential learning. Okay, you get to work on case studies. Okay, and then we'll also hold your hands on sessions like the LinkedIn optimization session, CV review, and the mentorship sessions. Okay, so we have given you all of this value, and like Mr. Adebambo rightly said, I would rephrase it in this way: if you do not believe that if I apply myself to these things I've learned, I can get a job, I don't think you stand a chance. You know, the belief and the goal, your goal inside helps you stay focused. You know, in days when you feel like, oh, I can't do this anymore, is this worth it? You just keep going. First of all, you have a community of people that pushes you. You also have 10 Analytics holding your hand. You have mentors that are pushing you. You have mentors that are holding your hand gets renewed as recently. Okay, so after you learn, after you've taken classes, after we've held your hands through the extra sessions and you've applied to jobs, but you're not getting called, you'd have a one-on-one session with our employability partner where they get to assess your CV and see what you are doing wrongly. Okay, so with all of this in place, and with you putting the effort, with you walking the talk, and fulfilling your part of the commitment, I'm very certain it's a given that you would actually land a very, very good role in tech, and then you'll be valuable wherever you are. Okay, Flora, I don't know if that answers your question, but if you have further questions, you could also put that in the chat, and then we'll pick it up from there. So Mr. John, I'd like to ask as well, what's one memorable piece of advice or insight from an industry expert during your training, Ifemena, Adeza, Muhammad, anybody, that you still carry with you today?
Well, I think there's this phrase from a femina always. It's about maximizing every learning opportunity and remember why you're actually starting anytime, because like I said earlier, there's this tendency to drop off after a while. Like you've been probably in the program for 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, start feeling this which is normal, start having maybe self-doubt, having like being laid back. Oh, I can miss this class. I can catch up. I can always catch up next week or watch recorded videos, which is very good as well. But just always remember why you're starting and where you're going to. If it always stresses this, I remember my first class. First session, the first class I had, those were some of the first things he said before we even did. He said, definitely, it will get to a point you start having this self doubt and the fact that, can I do this? Oh, I can always differ, but just commit. If it's 20, 30 minutes every day, it won't hurt you. You're definitely going to you're going to be better off for it. So it's just about it's not even enduring per se, because it's enjoyable. It's just putting your heart
Yes.
to it, setting your heart to it, putting your mind to it, and know the motivation. Why am I starting this, and what is my end goal? Set a goal for yourself. Let me just put it that way. Set have a goal for yourself, and we'll be fine. That's basically it.
Yeah.
Maximizing every any opportunity and never giving up.
Yeah, you see the place of having an end goal. I don't think it can be overemphasized at all. So if you get into something with just and you just dilly dally, you really don't have a goal that you want to achieve. That's when you start relenting on your task. You start slacking in doing your due diligence. So, like Mr. John rightly said, during the course of your program, there are moments where you're going to feel, oh my days, I am exhausted, but that goal, the goal you had, okay, I want to land a tech job, I want to get promoted. It just has a way of pushing you, and it helps you see through to the end of the program. All right. Thank you so much for sharing that, Mr. John. Mr. Adebambo, I'd also like to ask that same question to you. During the course of your business analysis program with 10 Analytics, what's one memorable piece of advice that you got from any of the facilitators, that is still with you today, that you still remember, that echoes in your subconscious?
Well, for me, I would say it's tenacity of purpose and you understanding what you need to do per time. And the one will be being confident of yourself. One of the mentoring sessions, you were told that those people that are there, some of them might not even know what you know, but because they are already in that position, you might be jittery and be afraid of them. But every ability to respond to the certain question of something that you actually know. So it happened to me while I was being interviewed, and I was able to uh, comport myself. I didn't get all the questions, and I believe that my comportment handed me the job because I was able to answer the ones I know very well, and also I was able to negotiate for my salary. There was this clause in my offer letter that I had to write them, and they have to remove. They said they're going to give me 50% of a certain sum. I said no, I'm worth more than this, and I wrote them, and they have to increase 200%.
Exactly. That's
200%. So
this.
being confident of yourself and your
Mhm.
abilities, yeah, will help you in a lot and it goes a long way.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that, Mr. Adebambo. You mentioned tenacity of purpose, and also confidence. You've gone through the program, and then it's just up to you to sell yourself. If you don't sell yourself confidently, nobody is going to do that for you. So you literally have to sell yourself, and also, you should know your worth. You've learned, what you've learned, what you've worked on, so why not know your worth? We also take you through sessions such as how to negotiate for your salaries. That's also in one of our mentorship sessions where we take you through that. All right, guys, if you have questions for those of us in the comment section, we can see you. All right, and we appreciate you for joining us today. I mean, it's Tuesday and you're taking out some time to learn, and to also see how analytics can help you land a job. So if you have question in the you can leave that in the chat, so we'll pick it up from there and would answer your question. All right. So Mr. Debambo, what advice would you give to someone considering enrolling in a analytics experience based on your in a analytics program based on your own experience? What advice would you give?
Okay. My advice would be that you should understand what you want to do because you have to be passionate about what you do to drive your success. So if you really understood what you want to do, and the next thing is for you to be determined to go through all the rigor and also ask questions. As analytics, there's no question that is stupid. They are always there. The facilitators are very serious-minded set of people. No matter the number of times you ask them questions, they will answer you, and also be ready to solve your challenges and also give you options. They give you alternative to problem. They are not just a one-way person. They give you so many ways to achieve a particular result. So that for me is enough for anybody that really wants to succeed to maximize that opportunity and be sure that he pays. I also say that he pays a very serious attention to whatever is being taught in the class. The person should ensure that he attends the class always. And when you are not clear, ask your questions. Those people are ready at analytics. They are ready to answer, dissect your question to granules of what you needed to
Mhm.
hear. That would be my advice for anybody that wants to go to analytics.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Mr. Adebambo. Mr. John, you as well. What advice would you give to somebody considering enrolling in a analytics program based off your own personal experience with us?
Well, my advice is that I can confidently say that if you have the mindset of actually enrolling with analytics, you've actually found a very good partner. It's now about you. It's not about analytics again. It's about you because everything you need and more is there. The materials, the resources, the wherewithal, the passion from the instructors, they have it. You experience learning in such a way that a 5, 6, 7, 8 year old will be also be able to understand. So it's not about you actually putting in the work. Like I tell people, learning is a two-way thing. It's be willing to fulfill your own end of the bargain, because
Exactly.
analytics will surely fulfill their own end of the bargain in terms of giving you the right skills, giving you the right mentality, instilling that confidence in you, having people that are there, like Mr. Alemambo rightly said, to respond to your queries. If you There's no stupid questions. There are no stupid questions, rather. Every of your questions, you already have somebody to pick it up. And they are
Exactly.
just one message, one call, one message away. So it's about you. Go for it. Be determined. Then always have it at the back of your mind. What is my goal? Why am I starting and what do I want to achieve? Once you can answer these questions, be rest assured analytics is there for you to see you all through and hold your hand. So be ready to fulfill your end of the bargain. That's my advice.
Yes, be ready to fulfill your end of the bargain because we'll make you a deal, We'll tell you that we can do this for you and you'll land a job within 3 months, of starting your program. But then we won't actually come pull all our resources to fulfill your end of the bargain as well. Sorry, can you still hear me, Mr. John?
Yeah, just a glitch, but it's fine now.
Okay, all right, thank you. So we have one question from Fikile Dlamini. Sorry, she's asking, does one's educational background count? I'm struggling to sell myself because I did statistics for undergrad, and I'm a monitoring and evaluation specialist with over 15 years experience. So I'd like for Mr. Adebambo to actually answer that because Mr. Adebambo actually went through political science during his undergrad, and he's currently a business development manager. He took the business analysis program with 10Alytics. So, Mr. Adebambo, could you answer this question? Does one's educational background count?
Uh, Upfront, I would say it does not.
Exactly.
Looking at my own CV, you realize that I studied political science, and now I'm a business analyst and a business development manager. As we have been reiterating here, it all depends on you. You will be taught how you can actually transition into tech seamlessly
Exactly.
in a such manner that it will not prove difficult to you. The only thing that is the obstacle, it's you. And this mindset of impossibility, you have to erase it completely because the classes that you'll be taking through, the process that you'll be taking through will actually transform you totally to whatever you have determined to become in analytics. So it's your background is a non-issue for me, and I believe if you also ready to learn, it won't be a problem for you. Your background does not matter.
Thank you so much for that explicit answer, Mr. Adebambo. So, Fikile, I don't know if that answers your question, but yeah, if you have further questions, please leave them in the chat. So, Ifoma also asked, what are their area of expertise? So, Mr. John, if you don't mind reiterating, please, what's your area of expertise?
Well, currently I work as a pricing and capacity analyst. Basically, what I do is just to help the business make more money, leveraging all the data we have. Looking at usually what I do basically on a day to day is a cost to serve analysis. How much does it cost us to serve this project? To take up this client and this insurance, taking into consideration so many factors, training, how much are we spending on training, how much are we spending on the travel time, how much are we spending on, so all of these things come into play. Then this data is what I use to come up with the prices that we charge our clients. So basically, that's just a summary of what my day looks like, helping the company make more money using data, leveraging on the data we have so we can price properly.
Yeah, thank you. And what program did you take with analytics? Just
Data
to
analytics.
data analytics. All right, thank you. Mr. Adebambo, please, what is your area of expertise as well?
Yeah, currently I work as a business development manager, and
Mhm.
my major task is to ensure that the revenue of the company grows month on month. and also to enlarge the company's clientele. So that's basically what I do. I also supervise some other teams to ensure that we drive revenue and business growth.
Yeah, exactly. And you took the business analysis program with analytics, correct?
Yes, that's what I did.
All right, thank you. So, Ifoma, I hope that answers your question. So, we're about getting to the end of the session. We have just two more questions to go. All right, so guys, if you have questions, please leave them in the comments. We'll take your questions. We're here for 1 hour. We have roughly 11 minutes. So, if you have questions, please leave them in the comments. I'll pick it up from there. So, yeah, Mr. John, how's your life changed since landing your current job? I'll say change your life.
Well, I can confidently say my life has changed. That's the beauty of tech. It gives you that flexibility. It gives you that there's this sense of purpose that you're actually doing something and that you're making a difference. uh, Aside from the fact that you get to work whenever you want to work, you get to do things you want to do. There's this, for instance, I can decide to just sit in my house behind my laptop and just work, and as long as my reports are in and everything is fine. So there's this flexibility that comes with it. One, there's this sense of purpose. It gives you a sense of fulfillment that you're part of something great. Imagine yourself being the one, say, determining what the price of a product should be. It gives you this responsibility, places this kind of confidence and responsibility in you. And so all of these things I've actually the experience I'm having currently, although I'm still pretty new in the role, but there's this sense that I'm actually part of something. I'm part of the
Yeah.
company and I'm confident in what I do, which is very important. The fact that I'm very confident in what I do, in what I can do as well. So those are some of the things that actually I believe have changed about me. Confidence, this flexibility, then there's this job satisfaction that I currently have, aside from the remuneration part. There's this satisfaction that comes with working with people of like mind and trying to move the business forward.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Thank you so much for answering that, Mr. John. Looks like we lost Mr. Adebambo. Okay. Just to reiterate, for those of us in the comment section, if you have further questions, please leave a message and we'll pick it up from there. So there's no way you are taking an analytics program and you wouldn't be invaluable to any company whatsoever. I don't think there's any program you take with us. So we offer the data analytics, business analysis, data engineering, financial analytics, HR analytics, Scrum, cybersecurity programs, and there's no way you take any of that and you would not be able to offer value wherever you are. All right. So it looks like we're coming to the close of the session. And then I'm just going to ask you, Mr. John, the final question. So, for those curious about your journey, okay, what's one insider tip or preview you can share about our upcoming masterclasses?
Hi, Priscilla.
That tip
Ooh, can you hear me?
or preview about our upcoming free masterclasses. So, hi, Mr. John, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I lost you there. Sorry, you might need to recap.
Yeah, so I was asking, you said after your masters, your first masters in Nigeria, you came across Ifemena's video and then you got hooked with analytics. So for those persons curious about your journey, what's one insider tip or preview you can share about our upcoming master classes that might help others to join our analytics programs?
Well, what I can say is you cannot afford to miss the class. It's very important. It's going to basically give you insight into a whole lot of things. It's going to like give you an overview of what the program is all about. It's going to introduce you to what the facilitators are, because right from the onset, I believe the first impression they say goes a long way. The first impression
Yeah.
you get from that class will actually go a long way. It's going to set the tone for your learning and the kind of experience you're going to have. So I believe that class is very important. For instance, myself, I remember very well vividly. I think the first thing, if for my class, because the first session I did before I couldn't complete due to one issue or the other, was the data science class. I remember if you say something about you start coding or something in 10, 15 minutes, which was actually, I was like, you guys don't deceive yourself. But it was actually tried. Realized that in less than the first tester class Python we opened, and I was like, is this actually real? Like, I used to
Yeah.
think this thing was that serious and difficult. So that first impression will go a long way. It's going to set the tone for you. It's going to give you that confidence that, oh, if I partner with this um with this group, then I'm sure to learn something and make something out of it. And not just learning, I'm sure to like improve myself and be marketable and actually get a job. I can do it. So that class is what gives you that confidence. It gives you an overview of what you expect and also set the tone for your learning.
Exactly. So, if you don't know what our free master classes are, they're actually sessions where we get to teach you for about 2 hours. We get to let you in on the kind of things you'll be learning with analytics. Sometimes you code as well. So, if you don't know that you can code within, let's say, 30 or less than 30 minutes, this is where you come and then you see that, oh, this is something that is doable. All right. So, we have those free sessions coming up this week. And yeah, my colleague is going to be leaving a link to our platforms in the comment section. You can pick it up from there. They're completely free. Just come and see what to expect. Come and see what we actually offer at Analytics. All right. There's also something we call the clarity session, which will be happening in 5 minutes from now. So let's say you've actually, for those of us that might have previously gone through a master class, you've gone through a master class, but then you are still indecisive on what career path to choose. So you get to speak to industry experts. They listen to you, listen to your experience so far, and then they're able to tell you, okay, with what you have, I think you should register for the data analytics program or the business analysis program. All right. So you could also visit our site at Analytics. You get access to the session happening in 5 minutes. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. John, for coming today to share your experience. I was able to pick your brain and I actually learned things from you as well. Thank you for coming on board. Unfortunately,
Thank you very
Mr.
much.
Adebambo is not here anymore. But yeah, I'd really like to appreciate you. After a long day at work, you took out time to be here. Thank you so much. Hello, Mr. Adebambo. Can you
It's a
hear me?
pleasure.
Yeah.
I can hear you. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Thank you so
So I'm
much for
sorry,
joining.
it was a internet glitch. I lost my internet, so I have to
Yeah.
kind of rejoin.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you so much, Mr. Adebambo. Thank you, Mr. John. Yes, this is what we'll call it a night for tonight. Thank you for joining us once again. All right. Thank you, everybody. But before we go, let's just take questions. Let's see if anybody has. We have 4 extra minutes. Let's see if anybody has questions in the comment section. So if you have question, if you have a burning question and you'd like to ask, please leave that in the comment section and then we'll pick it up from there, and also answer your question. All right. My colleague would also be dropping the link to our platforms, which is 10Alytics.io. So you could just look us up, see what we do, and also get informed on the upcoming sessions that are happening sometime this week. Okay. So yeah, I think it's okay to call it a night. Yeah, please take care of yourselves, Mr. John and Mr. Adebambo. I really do appreciate you for joining us tonight. It's a pleasure
Bye,
having you
everyone.
here, and it's been a wonderful session. Yeah, bye, Mr. Adebambo. Bye, Mr. John. Thank you.
Bye. Have a good
Bye,
night.
everyone. Have a good night.